Can I run a sub 2 hour 45 marathon in Seville in 20 weeks time? I'm gonna aim for probably 6 minute per mile pace. Oh. Oh man, I got my breathing so bad. That's so funny how you just think running's running, but the skill of running in comparison to last year in marathon prep when I was running around here, just the feel and the smoothness and the cadence just felt relaxed, comfortable, and it got not feeling nice but efficient. That felt so clunky, heavy, disjointed. Did not feel like I was in flow at all. That was just a grind. Just goes to show you just the power of repetition and building frequency and spending more time on foot, how quickly you just lose almost that skill and feel of the run. Not bad though, considering I've done a couple of zone 2s, and outside of that I've not ran since I did the marathon around here on November the 24th. There's a lot of work to do though. That's good, gives you a base to go off. So 5k time trial test sent to Mr. Dan Reeve, who responded, great start mate, 18:02. It did say total time 18:09. I then pressed resume and it got 18:11. And I was like, oh man, I've lost 2 seconds. But then when I looked at the stats and I sent it across to him, it said total run time 18:02. So he's gone off that predicted time instead of the 18:11, which he said, well, it doesn't matter, mate, because it just basically means that some of your training runs will be a little bit faster, which obviously was great in his mind, but maybe not in mine. But he said that gives us a great predicted time of 2:55, which is a solid position to start off with, and our aim is to be able to get down to a 16-minute 50 pace for a predicted 2 hour 43. And then he set me a load of run paces for 400s, 600s, 800s, 1Ks, 1200s, 1 miles, and then 2Ks. And so for any of the interval runs that I've got mapped out, I'll be running off those paces. At the moment, I've got 3 runs, which is relatively low volume, and I will push to 4 over the coming weeks and over the coming months as we start to build. And it's one of those where you're like, this isn't too bad, this is okay, and the volume isn't too crazy. And I know that I could do so much more, but I know in probably about 6 or 8 weeks time, I'll be regretting the fact that I actually didn't enjoy the lower volume stuff right now, even more so, because I'm very aware of the mileage that I'm gonna have to do, the paces that I'm gonna have to run at, and the work that's gonna need to be done. So yeah, everything's based upon pacing and not heart rate, but I am gonna get a chest strap so I can also just start to see where my heart rate is based upon the pacing, because I know the accuracy of the Garmin on my wrist is not great. And then gym sessions are going to be 3 sessions per week, which I'm just going not off the cuff, but he isn't programming specifically just now. But as we start to get even more specific and as things start to ramp up, I'll then get him to take control and take charge of everything, just to remove any decision fatigue, and also for me to not just do junk volume and stuff that's not going to be necessary or needed. So this is where we start, and we'll see where we go. First run, 1.5k warm up, 8Ks, a marathon pace, which is 6 minutes 17, 1.5k cool down. Also got Leanne to join me. Not feeling the best today. Sleep wasn't great, so time to get it done. Almost there. These are the weeks you realise you've got to run this pace for 26 miles and you're like, oh, have I bitten off more than I can chew? But I'm hoping, I've checked, there's no hills in Seville, unlike here, and 2 big hills completely wipe you. 0.3 to go. Good morning. Sunday miles about to get underway. Off to go meet Mr. Phil Casely. This is currently not in my program, but Phil's running an ultra in Tunisia in 4 or 5 weeks time. And so for the last few weeks, I've been joining him on some Sunday long, slow and steady runs, and I'll continue to do so until he heads away, just for the simple fact of it's enjoyable going and getting some zone 2 work and spending a little bit more time on foot. It's never a bad thing based upon where I am right now. Recoverability is pretty good.
and I'm not far out at the moment that I've got that flexibility, which is a nice thing. So I'm going to enjoy it. We'll go and catch up with him. He runs about 1.5 miles to a certain meet point, and I'll do exactly the same. Take you with us.
And the alarm goes off. You want to press snooze, and it's so easy to do. It's so easy to do, mate. There's only 2 things that get me out of bed. Number 1, seeing you. Second thing is, oh, beautiful. Never regret it once you're up. What about you, mate? So we're obviously a few weeks away from an ultra.
5 weeks away. So 5 weeks away from the double ultra in the Sahara. And that's going to be 2 days of 50 kilometers, soft sand, high heat. Yeah, it's going to be a test. So I've never even done a marathon. So we've got it all in.
And what was the driver or reason behind that?
The driver is a couple of reasons. So first and foremost, having 2 years ago had cancer and been pretty fucking ill, there was a thought when I was training for a marathon pre getting diagnosed, and there's an element of unfinished business there, but also the big driver for me is just trying to get back not just to myself but beyond my former self, even with a few obstacles. And the driver behind that driver is then, for anyone that kind of gets in a sticky situation like I was, just to hopefully use it as a glimmer of what's possible. So I use that as my driver.
Mate, so good. Seeing Phil come back over the last couple of years has been nothing short of inspirational. From what was it, 8 hours? 8 hours major surgery?
8 hours major surgery.
It's only supposed to be 4, wasn't it?
It was meant to be 4, turned out to be 8. As it turns out, I've got a double spleen, which you could call me superhuman. But apparently
You're special.
special is probably more accurate. And that took a lot of cutting around because it was attached to my abdominal wall. And yeah, it's a little bit more tricky than planned, but no complications really. Other than that, it just took longer, which meant then the anaesthetic requirement, they said that my respiratory system was, funnily enough, equivalent of a double marathon. So I did my ultra there.
And then off the back of that, mate, how many weeks of mental recovery?
Yeah, so that operation was big and it was life-changing in the sense that I woke up with a stoma. So that's my intestinal wall out through my abdominal wall and doing my business into a bag, which, so not only was the surgery very invasive and there was a big rehab process, there was also a lot of considerations around living with the bag and had to train differently. But yeah, got myself back running, but then I needed chemo, which again made running even harder. But then so that was in April that year. By October, we'd finished chemo, we'd had the stoma reversal, and then yeah, rebuild was on properly. But yeah, we've done 4 Hyroxes since, loads of half marathons, but now I want to do something a bit different and really test me, having never really been strong at endurance. That's now the task at hand. I'm a better all-rounder without doubt, and that just comes down to having a process, doesn't it? Following a process which has attacked me from all angles. So I'd say I'm all round stronger, definitely fitter, debatably faster, which we'll test soon. But yeah, I just feel so much better, lighter, leaner, more athletic, and it's testament to Mr. Dan Reeve.
And what about from a mental perspective?
So interestingly with that, I had a conversation last week. One of our clients is out, she's a psychotherapist, and we were discussing that she believes I've been through what's called PTSD. So you will have heard about PTSD, where it was a post-traumatic stress-related disorder.
Yeah.
The opposite of that is a phenomenon called PTSG, which is post-traumatic stress-related growth, which is quite interesting.
Yeah.
You can fall on one of two sides. You can either really get down and beaten by something, or you might be a person that actually gets driven by something bad that happens to them, and you use that then as almost a catapult to bigger things in life. And I like to think that that's something that's definitely happened to me. But I found it really interesting, that conversation, because I'd never heard about it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, PTSD.
What for you has allowed you to keep doing that?
The driver that I mentioned earlier, wanting to kind of be an inspiration for others, which always helps. But for me, it's like I'm just determined not to die, and I really want to live a good life. And I know that being strong, fit, robust, healthy, that's key for that goal to happen. So it was never a reason for me not to train. Well, there's never a reason for me not to train now, but it just drives you forward. Just knowing that, like, if I start slipping off, the chances of me getting ill again start really increasing. So yeah, I think that's a big reason behind it.
The way in which you went about everything was, honestly, that's absolutely insane. Just people throw around like inspiration and like leader a lot, but this man and what he's done certainly is that standards that you set and how you're showing up just now and what you're doing is a different level. And even if I look at you pre-op and pre-diagnosis to now, it's like, mate, you're a completely different animal.
100%.
Completely different.
Different man, different athlete.
Yeah.
Different human.
Yeah. Then also, mate, must be the tan.
Oh, I think that's
what it is.
It's 10% faster, 10% leaner, 10% more muscular. It's
10% everything.
Yeah. Well, doesn't work downstairs though.
Unfortunately.
I felt that.
You felt that? Oh. I can't believe this has happened already. Only 7 days into marathon prep. Join me next week and I'll give you an update.